Hello, everybody, and welcome to Law and Society. Appellate courts just don't seem to get the urgency of holding Donald Trump accountable. And we're going to talk briefly about that today. So, before I go and talk about how slowly our justice system works, here's an example of it. So, in mid September, Scott Perry's cell phone case got an appellate judgment to remand the case and have the lower court go through every single communication on Scott Perry's phone and go communication by communication to see if it fell within the purview of the speech or debate clause. And just today, news came out that some parts were made public of what DOJ recovered from Scott Perry's cell phone. So it's 2.5 months uh, and the government finally presumptively has uh, communications from Scott Perry's phone that is not covered under speech or debate clause. So it's 2.5 months uh, for a review by the district court upon remand. Now, we currently have a gag order appeal that's happening in the DC Circuit Court of Appeals. So, Judge Tanya Chutkan issued a gag order for all interested parties in Donald Trump's criminal conspiracy case. Then she stayed that order when Donald Trump said that he was going to appeal. But then, when she stayed that order, Donald Trump attacked Mark Meadows. So, in a 9-page ruling, Judge Tanya Chutkan lined out and clarified her protective order and reinstated it. Well, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals put a stay on it again. And Donald Trump went on attacks on Bill Barr and other people again. And then there was the oral arguments that happened earlier this month. So it has been about 2 weeks, I think, uh, that the oral arguments happened in the gag order case, and we still don't have any. We don't have a ruling from the Circuit Court of Appeals. It's disconcerting because this is a single issue that is being appealed interlocutorily, meaning before and in the middle of the trial procedures and pretrial procedures of a criminal proceeding. And so not only does the appellate court have to pay attention to when the district court has set the trial date, but they also have to pay attention to the broad discretion that the district court has when managing a case before them. With all those considerations and Judge Tanya Chutkan's second order that clarified exactly what her gag order meant, and then the oral arguments, it shouldn't take the judiciary this long to come up with an answer for a single issue interlocutory appeal that's happening during the pretrial process of a criminal proceeding with enormous implications in the upcoming elections. Now, when I say elections, all of a sudden it becomes politicized. But the fact of the matter is, whoever it is, when they are indicted and then they have to go through the adversarial process, if they come out of the adversarial process acquitted, then we have to give them that deference that they are innocent. And if they are held guilty, then the society responds to them as they were convicted, and then they will pay their dues to society. Now, in this particular gag order case, it is a one issue, single issue interlocutory appeal that is taking up so much of the time of the appellate court, and it brings with it the apprehension that when Donald Trump's other appeals get to uh, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, his his immunity, his political persecution, his justiciability arguments, his uh, whatever other arguments that he may have that Judge Chani Chutkan denies on pretrial motions, Donald Trump will likely appeal them. And if the DC Circuit sits on making an opinion 2.5 or 2 months, like they did with Scott Perry's cell phone and that process happening, that's just the whole court system, then we can expect delays for the trial date that's set for March 4th. Judge Tani Chutkan has been adamant that she will not move that date, and Donald Trump is doing his best with these motions and these frivolous appeals going up to higher courts in order to stay and block the trial from going forward, in order to not doing the discovery process that needs to be done at this time, but rather expanding discovery to matters and documents that do not fall within the discovery scope of this particular criminal trial. So Donald Trump has done that too, is by requesting discovery of things that are far beyond the purview, far beyond the scope of the current investigation of criminal conspiracy and obstruction of congressional proceeding and deprivation of rights under color of law. So we are now in a waiting game, and this has been happening for months and years now, that the judiciary of our country, they don't seem to get the urgency, especially the federal judiciary. They don't seem to get the urgency and the social harm that happens when you delay or when you deal with Donald Trump's cases and processes as if they were any other process. Uh, the courts have been treating Donald Trump specially, with somebody with 4 criminal felony indictments on 91 counts, going out and intimidating witnesses. They would not be walking free right now. They would be in pretrial detention. And the courts, therefore, have been treating Donald specially anyway. So, how does it help the interest of justice? How does it, effectively administer justice if it takes so long to judge and render judgment on single issue appeals and delay the substantive case further and further and further? It hasn't been able to do that so far, but this is just one appeal. Donald Trump plans to appeal all of his motions that will be denied by Tani Chutkan. We can almost bet on it. So keep an eye out on the news coming out. Maybe the DC Circuit Court of Appeals ruled while I was talking to you. I'm going to go back and check. So substantively, that's all I have. Thank you, Deb, for being here. We will see justice served. I know that we all have to be patient about this, but it's been 3 years. Okay. It's going on 3 years now. And, the average person looks at this and says, where is justice? Where is accountability? I look at it and I say, okay, I understand a little bit delay, a little bit there, because I understand a little bit of the proceedings and the legal mumbo jumbo. So I understand some of the delays, but I'm here to tell you that even I don't understand why these delays are happening like this was just, an ordinary run-of-the-mill case, which has no bigger implications on society or how we keep our republic. So judges need to take their heads out of the sand and see, generally where they are in society in order for them to make these judgments, not wait for these judgments for months on end, and then finally have the substantive trial be delayed because of it. So with that, I'd like to thank you. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe and share. and I'll talk to you soon.